Och han är kämpemorsom. Ta gott emot min gode vän. Det är Jack Lee!
Gangster, thinking he's a wild guy, robbing a bank, he's a sock him in the eye guy. Hank, yeah, Mr. Bonnie and Clyde guy, look him in the eye, he's not my kind.
Hello, I'm Jack Lee from China. But before I start, sorry, I just need to record myself. Not because I want to, but I have to send a copy to my government after this. But sorry, I do this in English. You might be wondering, why do they get this Chinese guy doing comedy in Bergen, speaking English? Is he that good? I'm just really cheap. Nobody is cheaper than me, okay? But I couldn't understand. I just heard people were talking about Jack when I was behind the scene. But whatever he said about Jack or me, whatever he said about me, is completely wrong. I don't know what he said, but I don't trust that guy. Or as you say in Norwegian, that guy does not have a clean flour in his bag. Har ikke rent mel i posen. I'm 38 years old, but a lot of people think I look 37 because I train CrossFit. Yeah, have to say it. No. Oh shit. China is a great country. Okay, thank you very much. That's enough. You have to say something nice about the government, but I cannot say too nice. If I'm too nice, they think I'm being sarcastic, which is also not great. Right? I was just in China 2 months ago doing stand-up, but I see they have like street cameras with the facial recognition technology everywhere. If I say something wrong, I'm wanted in the country. Yeah. And remember, those facial recognition technologies are designed to distinguish Asian people from each other. Must be some damn good technology, huh? Yeah, the communists, they always have an interesting theory about everything. Like back in the Soviet Union, they don't even believe in evolutionary theory. They had their own biologist called Lysenko. They don't believe we are determined by the genes. They believe we're determined by the environment we live in. Of course, they do this to justify things they do, to justify they can turn you into a better person by putting you in a better environment, like a labor camp. But I grew up in China. We're kind of communism. We also want to be friends with the USA. So when I was in school, are we determined by genes or the environment? I learned both. It's both, right? For example, if you have a kid, your kid looks like you, we say it's determined by the genes. If your kid looks like your neighbor, we say it's determined by the environment. I've been living in Norway for a while. A very common question I get is, "You're very tall for a Chinese guy." I was like, "Well, you talk a lot for a Norwegian guy." Like, no. Are your siblings very tall? I was like, "Well, I'm from China. I don't have any siblings." But maybe I had a couple of elder sisters, but I don't know. I just don't know. They're like, "Your parents tall?" I said, "No, not tall." "What's your secret?" I said, "My secret was milk. When I grew up, I drink 1 liter of milk every day." The milkman was very tall. Yeah. I've been trying to expand my stand-up business. I've been making business cards. It says I do stand-up entertainment for business, conference, parties, weddings, funerals. try to be a little funny. But then, after I ordered those cards, the guy who sold me the cards contacted me, said, "Are they helping? You got anybody booking you?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I did get somebody book me in January." I said, "Wow, that's great. Is a wedding? Is a funeral?" I said, "What the fuck question is that? Who plans a funeral in 2 months?" It's a birthday party. I don't understand why people celebrate birthdays anyways, because, you know, if you have way too many birthdays, you will die. That's the number one reason of death in the world. Yeah. Correct. I've been living in Norway for 3 years. Actually, I've been living in Norway for 8 years. I say 3 because my Norwegian level is so bad, it's becoming embarrassing to say 8. Like, it's still at the level where I answer everything with lit. Like people ask me, "Kan du norsk?" I said, "Kan du norsk?" Lit. Hvordan har du båt i Norge? Lit. Hvordan kukken din? Yeah, it's so lit that almost put my life in danger once. Because my parents almost had an abortion. Then they found it. Okay. No, there are a couple of reasons that it's hard for me to learn Norwegian. Like, first, you have so many dialects. A word that works in this part of the country does not work in the other part of the country. Very confusing. Like, I have a friend text me a message, said, "Hala chomi." What's chomi? So I went on Urban Dictionary. It's a website teaching you slang words. I searched chomi. Then the first answer I got was, you can search it for yourself. First explanation is, chomi is a secret word that mentally retarded Norwegians use to identify each other. I took a screenshot. I was like, "What the hell?" And my friend said, "It must be written by some asshole from Oslo." And one guy has been trying to teach me Norwegian, but after 6 months, I realized that he's been teaching me something called Trendesk, which is totally useless anywhere else. They have very interesting way of thinking, but different logic. Like in English, if you say something goes really smooth, they have an expression called, "It's so smooth, it's like putting hot knife on butter." Right? But in Trøndelag, they have the same logic, but they say, instead of putting hot knife on butter, they say, "It's so smooth som varm bæsj i kramsnø." I know you have so many different words for different kinds of snow in Norwegian, but how many experiments do you have to run to figure out, yeah, it's kramsnø. It's like not powder, not whatever. Very scientific. Yeah, and I don't find Norwegian to be the most politically correct language, because when I interviewed for my job, my boss asked me, "Have you ever been involved with black labor?" I was like, "Well, I'm Chinese. But I promise you, whatever a black guy can do, I can do it for cheaper." Yeah, but culturally, I'm very good in Norwegian. I took a Norwegian culture test, scored 98 out of 100 points, only missing 2. First point missing, I've never been to the Grand Canaries. Second point I'm missing, believe it or not, I don't have an Asian wife. Yeah, I grew up in China, so Chinese parents are very difficult to please. There's always a neighbor's kid that's better than you. The neighbor's kid runs faster than you. The neighbor's kid is better at math than you. The neighbor's kid has a bigger dick than you. If my mother see me do stand-up, she would say, "You are a clown and the neighbor's kid is funnier than you." But I still try to impress my mom all the time. Like, I bought this sweater to impress my mother. Because I put it on and I was like, great. It says mom. Yeah, failed again. Then I try to go do some more impressive work. I try to think of more philosophical questions. Like, what's the ultimate meaning of life? I think after years of research, I find the answer. You're so nice tonight, I'll tell you my answer after 10 years of research. What's the ultimate meaning of life? What's the thing that eventually makes us happy? It's holes, like the hole. You dig a hole like the hole. Holes. Because everything makes us happy as a human involves either putting something into a hole or taking something out of a hole. Yeah. You like food, you buy good food, go to this hole. You like drinks, good drinks, go this hole. You like watching a movie, the movie, you put it on, it goes into these holes. Music, these holes. If you really like drugs, it either go into this hole or this hole, or if you cannot find a hole, you pierce a hole on your skin and put it in that hole. Yeah. Most people like sex. And sex is, no matter what your sex orientation is, gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, pandas, whatever. Sex is always about holes, right? It's either you put your thing in somebody else's hole, you put somebody else's thing in your hole, you pretend you have a thing, put it in your hole, you pretend you have a hole, you put that thing in your hole, put your thing in that hole. You buy a thing, you put that thing in your hole, you buy a hole, you put your thing in that hole. When we were born, we came out of a hole. And when we were dead, they dig a hole and put us in that hole. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yeah,